So I will be doing shelf 1 of my Transformer collection for cleaning them, giving out some fun facts. Sorry, this light's over. Alright, so it's Optimus Prime from Generation 1. This version does not transform, unfortunately, but he is part of the vintage toy line that recently came out before the Bumblebee movie as a celebration of, well, Transformers. They decided that since Bumblebee will be based off of Generation 1, might as well make him into a Generation 1. So what I do is I just take a wet washcloth and I get all the areas that I can before I take cotton swab, some water, and I get into those small little areas such as behind. Get as much of the dirt and the dust that I can off from it collecting over a few months. Generally I clean them twice a month, but recently I have not, so this is like 5 months worth. Luckily some of them don't seem too bad in condition. But Optimus in Generation 1 was attacked in the docks while working there with his girlfriend Ariel, who later becomes Elita 1. Alphatron remakes Optimus, well, Orion, into the known hero that we know about Optimus Prime. First gets the Matrix. In the Covenant of Primus, Optimus is actually the 13th Prime. Sadly, Logos Prime did not make it to the original, so he's in the pre-Shroud original 13. But if Hasbro had gone through with adding in Logos Prime, which is like Vector Prime, master of like time and space, then Optimus would have been the 14th Prime. Something happens to him, like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't really say, but Orion Pax, or Optimus gets converted into Orion Pax and later back into Optimus. Next we have Starscream, the Prince of Voss, which is the city of the Seekers. So, Seekers is a frame type. They are the guardians of Sparklings. So, well, they protect Sparklings, younglings, and sometimes they would create a guardian bond, and they're bonded, like, for life. It's like a spark bond with spark mates, but different. There's no, well, I'm pretty sure there's interfacing, like, if need be, for, like, heat or mate cycles. Rather than that, nah. But it is a really close bond that cannot be broken, like, even in death. You can't break it. Shockwave He is the head of the scientists on Cybertron. He is a member of the High Council, who, with him, he actually, like, respected the lower caste system. So, because of him defying the council, and his position as the senator was so important, and with his mind, they decided to keep him, but did Imparata on him, mostly. If they did full Imparata, he would have lost his other servo, but they replaced his head and his arm, which is like with the functionalists, where they only had, well, a head, like an optic, like this. This is an example of Imparata, it's just punishment. So, that's Generation 1, or that one's Transformers Prime. The Starscream was Generation 1. This is the remake Generation 1 of Shockwave, one of the newer ones that came out. And in this version, I believe he turns into a jet instead of a gun, like he does in Generation 1. But in Generation 1, he still helps out Megatron. In IDW comic books, he actually gets jealous and tries to overrule Megatron. Shockwave is the apprentice to Jaxus, who is a complete insane scientist, like, really bad, and they say that Shockwave gets even worse than him. Which is kind of scary to think about, because Jaxus is not good. He appears in the IDW comic books, I believe in Generation 1, I'm not completely sure on that one. Not that I've seen, at least. And I've read quite a few. But Shockwave does care for Starscream at times, like, thinks of Starscream as a son. And in one of my stories, Shockwave is actually the father, or sire, of the Terror Twins, Sunstreaker, and Sideswipe, where his sons were taken from their home, like really young, about 5 or 6 years old, as punishment, like further punishment to Shockwave for disobeying the High Council. So he never got to see his sons again. Not really. Next we have Megatronus from Robots in Disguise 2015. Megatronus is the, I want to say the 11th Prime. The one that defies them all, actually enjoys Unicron. So he is also known as the Fallen because he is the Fallen Prime. Because he had turned evil, turned against his brothers and sister, which is Solus Prime. And practically killed them all, or had it set up so that they all die. Except for Alpha Trion, who lives, but then later on in the war gets killed. Depending on which version you look at. In Generation 1, Alpha Trion actually sacrificed himself to activate Vector Sigma. Because he is an original Prime, he is connected to Vector Sigma. So he acts as a second key, because in Generation 1, Megatron took the first key and kept it, and that's how the Constructicons, not the Constructicons, the Stunticons were made. And then Alpha Trion sacrificed himself so that the aerial bots could be made. So he's one with Vector Sigma. They don't really call it dying, but he's dead. He killed himself, self-sacrificed, the cheap way of getting out of life. and Optimus was not pleased to find his mentor willing to do that, but one bot sacrificed his life, so that 6 may be born, or 5. It's one of the 2 numbers. It's 5. Devastator's the only one with 6 combiner, or 6 bots into a combiner. Yeah. Megatronus in the series wants the spark of, or the anti-spark of Unicron, or at least what remains of it after Transformers Prime, where the main anti-spark got trapped inside the Allspark, like the vessel for it. I was holding it, which the Allspark now goes into the Matrix of Leadership, where Optimus put it, joined one with the Allspark, aka he died, he killed himself with self-sacrifice. But for millions, well, billions of Cybertronians to be born, or sparked. Even though I'm pretty sure that they could have been sparked previously, I actually have a story idea where Knockout gets sparked, but the Sparkling has no spark. It's just a frame, so it's like a miscarriage, or stillborn. But as soon as Optimus dies, and the sparks come out of the bottle of the Allspark, one of them goes to Knockout and goes inside him and into the Sparkling's body. So that's my whole plan. It's going to be quite interesting to do. It would definitely be something new, but I think it'll be a great story. Alright. Next we have Headmaster Scourge. Forgot what his Headmaster's name was, but there he is. Yeah, I don't remember his name. It's weird seeing him as a Headmaster, because in the original Generation 1, only a select few became Headmasters. It's been a while since I last seen it, but pretty much Autobots and Decepticons land on this planet. They help the inhabitants go inside their heads, become Headmasters. The Decepticons were pretty much forced into that position, while the Autobots had a choice. And RC's Headmaster partner was Daniel Witwicky, Spike Witwicky's son, who got badly damaged, needed to live. That was the only way for the race of that planet to save Daniel. But Scourge is the third in command to Galvatron, with Cyclonus being in second in Generation 1. He is the leader of the Sweeps, which Unicron made. I believe in Generation 1, Scourge is actually, I believe, Thundercracker. Might be Skywarp. That gets reformatted after Starscream kicks them all out of the ship of Astrotrain. Because there's too many injured and Astrotrain couldn't carry them all. So they voted for all the injured to get taken out. And Starscream doing that to his own brothers, well, shows how much he loves them. Family is just amazing. Yeah, Scourge the Hunter is his name given to, or from from Unicron back in Generation 1 in the movie when it came out in 1986. And that was about an hour and 20 minutes, I believe. Because Optimus dies about an hour into the movie. They just left him. So this is Tailgate from IDW. He has a lot of the wrong colors, but I'm not complaining. So Tailgate was trapped down in this like mine, ready to get going to Arc 1, which Nova Prime created in order to go and like spread the universe, like the word and all that, and explore the universe. On his arm it says Ozil, but Tailgate says that he's a bomb disposal mech, but actually he is a waste disposal. He didn't want to say anything, like, just to seem cool. When Cyclonus told him about the war, because at this point the war's over, like, Tailgate's been trapped down there for about 4 million years old, develops cybercrosis, which Cyclonus saves him from. The two of them fall in love. But, yeah, so everybody, so as Cyclonus tells him about the war, Tailgate decides he wants to be a Decepticon, and he goes around telling everybody on the ship, oh, I want to be a Decepticon, and he gets mad later at Cyclonus, like, oh, you made me choose wrong, it's like, you jerk. It's like, well, I just told you the facts from an outsider, because in that version, Cyclonus was not a Decepticon, even though he had served Galvatron. I don't know the full story behind Cyclonus, but he's pretty amazing. So my newer ones don't really need to be cleaned, but I have Frenzy, who is red and black, Rumble, who is purple and blue. A lot of people get their names mixed up, but in Generation 1, based off of the series, sorry, you can't see them very well, but they are Soundwave's twins, sons. They love to cause trouble, like, they're like Sunstreaker and Sideswipe. Just troublemakers. So this is Laserbeak from Generation 1. One of the vintage toys that I was able to get, same with the other two in Ravage. But Laserbeak's the second child of Soundwave, with Bazaar as her twin, or his twin, depends on which version you look at. And then here is Ravage from Generation 1. Really skinny, don't know why. But he is the oldest child of Soundwave, first sparked. I mean, all of them came from Soundwave being raped, because being a gladiator, well, sometimes that was the punishment, sometimes the council did it to him, just to stop Megatron's rebellion and all that. And Soundwave is actually mostly deaf, blind, and mute without his mask and visor, which were specially made so that he can see, speak, and hear, even though his voice box was badly damaged in one of the battles. His Cassetticons help. Hi, Uncle Chucky.
Hello. Your mom says that she wants you to get the dishes done.
Oh, frag off.